And good evening. It is Thursday, July 22nd, 2021, and it is the end of of week 2 of Big Brother 23 USA edition. I'm Dave Mader, joined with Jeff Mader and Jaemeel Robinson here on Super Mader Brothers Podcasting as we continue our coverage of this season. As we saw tonight, Frenchie. The real question is, what will the announcer do without more French toast or French fries or French food puns?
Is Frenchie fried?
The answer is yes.
Yeah, I have a question right off the bat. Speaking of puns, did you guys catch the pun at the end of the episode?
No. Which pun?
What? Brittany.
She had lots of raps, which I'm ready to sample.
So you guys didn't catch it, okay? Because Amanda and I were having an argument that you guys would definitely catch it, and
I walked out. I walked out after the HOH win.
Okay, yeah, I don't really do the same thing too. I don't care what happened, but anyway, Brittany did a pun where she said it was a last pitch effort, talking about her rap, and I didn't catch it at first, but I'm like, that's not funny. Puns are not funny.
Puns can be funny. That was not
true. That was not, yeah.
That was not. I think my just in full disclosure, I think my my Ignite did not like or appreciate any of the speeches tonight, because that's the time that it took to freeze, and then to get it started, it was already past it. And honestly, I didn't particularly care to hear what they had to say, because I didn't think there was going to be anything illuminating.
Are you saying you missed the Brittany eviction rap, like her speech?
Yes, I missed it like a bullet to the head.
Well, it's 30 seconds, and I have all of it.
And that is 30 seconds too long. What? I heard the raps, okay? I heard the earlier raps.
I have a rap on Angina. I have a rap on Xavier. He's a stand-up guy. But he's not so much for the album. He's not signing off on her to get a new album. And then we also have her 30-second speech, which apparently it only took her 20 minutes to write that, but took many days to practice.
For
days. Yeah, we have to talk about these raps, because I don't know. I like A for effort, maybe?
No,
not even then.
No.
For spirit.
Failure. F for failure.
Yep. And we're going to talk about this, and also the vote casting and the goodbye messages. All three. I think all three are valid topics for us to really.
Do you know what's a good word to describe this entire episode? Disingenuous.
Disingenuous in what way?
Everybody, Frenchie, everybody. Nothing. Everybody is like playing a character and a role, and nothing's genuine except, like, you know, it's just, I don't know, like, especially Frenchie, like, even like his entire interview with Julie, he lied like 4 or 5 times. Like, again, why? You're out of the house. There's no reason to, like,
yeah,
he doesn't want his kid. He wants his kids to be proud of him. That's why he told everyone, don't say anything mean on his goodbye messages. And he begged someone to, D obviously stepped up to it so that he wouldn't be voted out unanimously. Doesn't matter if it was 1 or 100, right?
Yeah.
That voted for you. You still lost. It don't matter.
He's caring about the wrong things, in my opinion.
Maybe, yeah. Like, I think Frenchie, I think should be a cautionary tale. We see him go, he was the first HOH in a tumultuous week 1. Definitely was an Icarus who flew too close to the sun, and it didn't work out so well for him, as he became public enemy number 1 in that house for week 2.
What is the sun? What does the sun represent? Because if it's good gameplay, he was not flying towards that.
Well, what he thought was good gameplay.
What he thought,
not what actually was. What he thought. Oh, I got to make the big alliances. I got to work the house. I got to have different angles, or I don't know. I think in his mind he was trying to go through the motions, but he's like like a beer league softball player who runs out into the pros and thinks like they can do it all. And I think the real world applications were sort of overwhelming to him. I think the nerves of this, although I think he handled it better than many would, and he obviously got through the audition process. I just don't think that he was maybe the best choice for a Big Brother contestant.
I think that's probably somewhat true. I do think the fact that he's kind of like a farmer from the middle of nowhere probably doesn't interact with people outside of his community all that often. That probably did affect him, but that shouldn't affect lying, and that should
No.
it shouldn't affect being disingenuous.
I think it's a case of you see stuff happening on TV, and then at the same time you go, if I was in that position, this is what I would do. Not realizing that Big Brother isn't just an hour, right?
No.
Or the couple of hours you might watch on a feed. It's a 24/7 thing, right? And with all those times, if your mind is just, this is how, like a game bot, then you're gonna you're gonna sign your own death warrant, right? As much as people complain about like Azah being so distant from everyone, was she ever thought to be put up on the block? No. Did she do anything that would be detrimental to her game for the rest of the season? No. Like, you have that week, right?
Right.
And you're either setting yourself up for the rest of the game, or you're getting your bearings. And you see some people are better than others at it.
Yeah, like
Frenchie was not.
Amanda and I were talking to each other. We kind of said, like, Frenchie is the male version of Vanessa Russo, but Vanessa Russo was able to use her emotions and her, like, she was good at manipulating people. Frenchie's not, but they played a very messy game, very similar at the beginning of the game. The difference was Vanessa was really able to rebound, and Frenchie was not. And so, but yeah, I did definitely see the similarities.
Yeah, like I think that Frenchie is just a guy. Like, I think we're better off without him. Although we have a soundboard full of puns using his name.
Careful
now.
what you wish for, Dave. Careful what you wish for, because I think he's one of the only guys in the DR that's doing a half decent job. Like one of
well, kind of, but it was a lot of just like pandering and sort of like clips to, like, I don't know, like,
it was very cringe
on this and whatever he was going on about tonight.
Possum. He was.
But I was even gonna pull that. I was gonna like I'm just playing possum. Are you, or are you?
Yeah, it was
actually a dead
playing possum after got hit by a truck.
Yeah,
right.
Like that's the part you were playing.
And every car is just running that possum over and over.
Yeah, it was a rough. Like, I know that he was. It would have been rough knowing that you're probably not gonna be able to like campaign your way out of this. Having to stick around for
like he didn't even campaign. I don't even buy the what we saw as campaigning. That wasn't campaigning. That wasn't nothing.
He said he didn't want to campaign against Britney. He couldn't do it.
Yes, he could. He decided not to.
Okay, and this is another lie. Okay, that he said in those. Oh, I can't go against her because she's a girl. Oh, really? If Alyssa was beside you on the block, you would have had the same feeling. You know, like, come on, like it's just like he makes things up to suit a weird narrative in his head that, like, he said to Julie that, oh, I went into that house to change like the narrative of Big Brother, and he completely crapped all over it, you know. So
yeah,
what are you talking about?
I was like, I couldn't really. I thought this the exit interview was weak too. I thought that in particular, he's like, well, I was on the couch and saying like I can play this game, and his wife said, why don't you get into Big Brother? So that part is true up until that point.
It's
and then he gets into, it's not her fault, but but if you take that inference, maybe that there could be a degree from that. And then he's saying like, I always saw the old guy getting voted out first. And I changed that. I went in there and you didn't change it. You got voted out as soon as possible. You just were not eligible for week one because you won.
The old guy usually doesn't go at first. The old guy usually goes out like in the final 9, final 8 in that area. Is usually where the
Donnie, etc.
Yeah,
like no, that isn't a thing. That isn't a thing.
Well, there have been some like Steve
yes, Summer of Steve 2019, yes, and Glenn. You know, Glenn
went
out.
but it's kind of I don't think it's a hard and fast rule that the old player, the older male or female in the house is going to be a target. I think it depends. I think that they don't win typically for various reasons, or they don't get to the end very often. But it does happen.
Evil Dick did it. He was the oldest guy in the house.
Yeah, true. But I don't think it's an impossibility. I think it's just all depends on how well you can socialize and play the game with people and whether they need you or not. I think Derek was on the older side of his season, and I think he played that part really well.
Yeah, he was, but he was in his 30s or something. It's like he wasn't old.
But he's 30. How old is Frenchie? 34.
No.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
You're right,
he's pretty young. Yeah. No, he's
and
not that old.
Derek Levasseur, when he played Big Brother 16, I think was about that age.
The fact that he's calling himself old and he's 34 is silly.
I get he's got 3 kids and he's lived a life. And
you can be old like Tiffany. She don't seem old.
Nope.
Right? Not in terms of how her social game is. She don't seem old. She doesn't seem disconnected or anything. The fact of the matter is he wasn't as social as he thought he was.
Do I look old to you?
Nope.
Yeah, no, he was really bad at being social, and he was really bad at connecting people. He was playing it a lot like a politician. He was saying what he thought people wanted to hear, rather than like being himself and being genuine. And people really liked him right at the beginning because he seemed genuine. That's what they all said. I believe him. He seems real. He seems like he's not a fake, a phony. And then he like turned into that. And it's like, yeah, like anyone
quicksand. It was quicksand.
Quicksand. Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
He shouldn't have won week 1 HOH. He shouldn't have.
No,
I think it would have been a very different game.
He should have rolled the dice.
But I think that this would have happened to Frenchie sort of eventually. I think as soon as he maybe had power, I think he would have mishandled it potentially.
But we'll never know. Locked in. You would have been locked in with people rather than first week.
Yeah, no, true. And so he's the type of player who should not win HOH first. He obviously doesn't have that. Although I still think that winning the HOH is a good thing to do in week 1. Typically, I think Frenchie had all this power, and he had but the reason people are so angry with him is because he is this sort of immediate like magnet or sort of like gravity well for the house, being the first HOH, particularly because he's an older guy in that role. So people are going to look at him as like an authority. What should I do? And sort of as the barometer for where they are in the house. And if he played that right, it would have been amazing for him. He would have easily made jury, but he mishandled it as badly as you could. It was quite well done in some ways. It's like textbook poor gameplay.
Look at the players he put on the block, right? Kyland. Everybody likes Kyland. Like literally everybody likes the guy. And then Alyssa, everybody's in love with. So it's like literally he put the 2 players on the block that everybody likes and everybody wants to hang out with.
And Christian, he was targeting.
Yeah, and Christian. So like,
and Brent, he was targeting.
Brent, he was kind of like on the
Brent
same.
was like a brief flirtation of targeting.
Right.
Then he loved Brent for a while. Yeah, that's right.
Who should he have targeted?
I think Travis was the right guy to target, but I think that that it was because the way he had to go about it. It was like I think the initial noms and the fact that he promised no women and people of color, and then he did that, and like he didn't have to make those promises, and so he created this situation for himself largely.
Yeah, so like I think it would have been smart for him to have put like Travis and maybe like a Sarah Beth on the block, something like that would have made sense.
Yeah, like I think he just needed to get a sense of like what are the names, like everyone give me names on who you're thinking,
right?
And then try to figure out what the consensus is. I think that's the way to play the first HOH is just to try to like.
So what you're saying is Kylan played the first week HOH the best, even though it was the second week.
Yeah,
kind of like I feel like this week 2 was sort of like a reset for the house in some ways.
Yep.
Agree.
What would?
Sounds like week 2 to me.
There we go. All right. So the whole but first segment did like everything that we got about Frenchie's campaigning. Was that all kind of flat for you guys?
Yeah. 3rd week in a row, we didn't get a hashtag but first. It said hashtag BB23. What's going on?
Well, It's the but first segment, but it's about they would rather people tweet about the show. I don't know. We got a lot of things to talk about here. Like they're sending Tom Green unkempt throughout the streets of Ottawa to poll people who don't even know about the show.
For BB USA. Like, I'm surprised most people were like, BB Canada? I love that show.
Well, they probably eliminated all of the.
You know that's not true.
They eliminated all references to BB Can.
Yeah,
sure.
It doesn't exist. They're like the Leafs. They don't like the idea of a second expansion team in their territory, and they think Canada's in their territory, even though Canadians can't play the U.S. version. But
I think they can now.
You can, but you have to, I think, be a legal resident of the U.S.
Oh, is that what it is? I know in like Survivor, you can be Canadian.
Legal, but no, you have to be a legal resident.
Survivor is...
Nope, they changed the rules. You can be Canadian and just go.
Yeah,
play
Survivor, you don't have to be a U.S. resident.
They changed the rule literally last year.
Which no season has actively shown it yet. Or that one guy.
Are you sending in your video? Are you sending in your Survivor video now? Is that what's like? You're like, I have to go. I have to.
Who, me? No. I'm just saying. Like,
no, Jaemeel, you just got this.
I'm
this
not
is breaking
going to
news.
Survivor. I can't swim.
You can't swim?
I can't swim.
And they don't do seasons with no swimming anymore. It's like all swimming. Like, you know,
I'm not doing Survivor.
They did a few seasons with no swimming.
And I'm not going to be the one dude that doesn't swim, and everyone just look at this. Look at this
guy who can't swim.
Getting voted off, for not swimming is like the worst. That's happened a few times in Survivor, and it's like you always feel bad. You're always like, that's not his fault. You know,
Jaemeel can't even swim. What are you gonna do? Okay, let's segue. How about exercising or going to doing wraps on exercise bikes? Is that anybody's thing, Jeff? Did you like
stoked? Love it. Let's go.
I love her Brittany's rap skills.
Whitney was loving it.
Fashion cheese, stop it.
See, disingenuous. Was she loving it?
She loves it. Okay, let's listen.
Whit and Britt are on the bike. Come and join us every night. We will keep you entertained and keep your workout team sustained. Come and join us. Go and join us.
Okay, what would you give that out of 10, Jeff? That rap.
-3.
It was made up on the spot. She didn't even rehearse that one.
So it doesn't matter. You can freestyle all you want. Like, if it's garbage, it's garbage.
Yeah, okay. Let's her one on Xavier, pretty good.
Hey, everybody, listen up. We got Eggs. He's so cool. He can flex. When he looks at you, your eyes go to the sky. Can't you tell that X is a stand-up guy? Hey.
She rhymed eggs with flex. What is that? That's all you need to know.
That's how they do it in Niagara Falls, New York.
Yeah.
They don't even have to rhyme there. Okay, and then we'll play this once.
We got to get Jerry on and get his opinions on Niagara Falls, New York.
Well, I did like Xavier saying that he was not impressed.
Do I think she should drop an album? Probably not,
but
at least that was at least genuine. You know?
He was genuine.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he's not. And then this eviction speech, this little like.
CDS, thank you for this incredible opportunity. Mom, Dad, Nana, Anna, film, my unity. I love you all so much. I'm sorry if I scared you, but if I'm being honest, I was scared too. Saw my face on the wall, and I was like, wow, beautiful face, but hell no, get me out. This week's been crazy, full of laughs and tears. I've cried enough this week to last me 5 years. House guests, friends, I love you all dearly, and I hope that you all can see one thing clearly. I love this game, and I came to play, so when you go in that booth, you better vote for me to stay.
Wow.
Don't encourage, please. Don't
Ooh. Okay, it's rough.
I would be the person that goes, boo, stop, no.
Yeah. I don't understand. This was written out in advance. This was rehearsed. And I feel like more drafts would have helped this process.
No.
That's not how rapping works, you know, like at least for a bit, like they do write it out.
I'm gonna start a rap right now. I'm gonna clap and then start snapping and then I'm gonna stop.
She also like consistently like did not rhyme well until the end. Like it wasn't until
it just seems to be like is all you have to do to rap just like speak at a cadence like with beats and snaps in between? No, I don't think that's how it works.
It's not how it works.
Not if you like listen to the good ones. There are bad rappers that do this, you know, I'm sure.
How does this happen to our culture? I understand where we think that this is good.
Yeah.
Now.
20 years ago, this girl would have been shamed like so hard. So hard.
But she's trying so hard.
Yeah, but now she's trying. She's not offending anybody. She's it's just like she's offending rap music. That's what she's offending.
She's not endearing. It's not endearing to me, but it like especially this one on Tonight, like this was way too long. It didn't rhyme. It wasn't catchy. It was kind of confused and muddled. Daryl says she's the next to go, and he might be right.
I think so. Yeah, it's her or Brent are her the next to go.
Or Whitney. I think that Whitney's also maybe not long for this.
But well, why? We don't need this. Why? Just say, hey, I appreciate my time here. I hope you guys vote for me. I'm willing to work with you guys going forward. Thank you. Sit your butt down.
What do you think Whitney's choice to hide her karate skills from the house?
Yeah, I don't care. Again, there's too many people hiding things that are completely ridiculous in his house. I'm a forensic scientist. I can't tell anybody that. I'm a lawyer. Oh my God. What a threat.
Look,
you know,
you're saying that you're a black belt in Chuck Norris karate is a talking point. Xavier looks like a friggin' tank.
Yeah.
Right?
But he can't tell him he's a lawyer.
Right. And Sarah
people will think he's like, I can understand the lawyer talk and the forensic analyst talk. Hannah saying that she's has like a perfect memory and super smart.
Clearly not.
That's
clearly
cool.
not. Clearly not. If she had a perfect memory, she would have won the HOH tonight.
Okay, that HOH thing was kind of BS.
Yes, we're gonna get to that. I said the exact same thing to Amanda. And
but we're learning. We're learning.
We got a little bit of an argument about it because I said it was a trick question, and I thought Xavier accidentally won. Yeah, he accidentally won the HOH tonight. I don't know if he got that right on purpose. I hope he did, but I don't know if he did.
That was a slip on a banana peel. I'm sorry. That's the only thing I can see. I'm looking at Hannah and the way she's answering these questions. She like her recall is pretty good. Even Allison had pretty good recall, right?
Let's see.
I know
Hannah was there right till the end.
Yeah, all of them were there to the end, and then Xavier
kind of
like
the final five in this competition was Derek X, Hannah, Alyssa, Sarah Beth, and Xavier.
All the smart people.
All the smart, like really studious people got to the end. And then, okay. So the question was a trick question, in my opinion, because Julie Chen says, quote, right? So it's a quote, right? One of the guys said, he likes to walk around nude on Tuesday, but what he actually said was he likes to walk around naked on Tuesday. Like, this is I feel like that was, what are you doing, big brother? Like, that was a very weird question to ask because it literally, you changed one word and they both mean the same thing, you know?
Yeah. You should say, I don't like walking around naked, or I like I like walking naked on a Wednesday. Right? Make the statement different than the first statement, not like, oh, it's just saying it a different way. Or
be like the guy who said that was wearing a red shirt or something, you know, and stuff like they could have made that question a way different and more, I don't know, just straightforward. It was a trick question.
Everyone would have got that question wrong if Xavier didn't accidentally win it.
Yeah. What do you think, Dave? Do you think he accidentally won that, or do you think he got that right on purpose?
Well, to be honest with you, I wasn't really tracking the questions versus the results. I wasn't playing along so much. I was more just tracking who was sort of left in each round. So I thought this exercise of sending Tom Green into random videos where he was just, what was it called? Tom Talks BB? Is that original? Incredible.
Well, I said it was going to be this or that, so
it was just I kind of called it. I don't know how many people he went around to, but clearly, could he have not found he should have just edited in the people who knew what Big Brother was.
He did. He did.
You did for the most part.
Yeah, the first set of people did not know.
Yeah, I was just happy. Also, Xavier did win because, of course, I know how to pick them, and I have Xavier and Frenchie. Now, of course,
Dave,
Frenchie.
No,
You know,
no.
I got unlucky because Frenchie became HOH first. He was going to win this whole game if he hadn't have won that week 1 HOH.
And that's what you're saying now about Xavier. And then when we come back here next week, Jaemeel, and Xavier's on the block, or
well, okay, I will. I will definitely have to eat my hat if Xavier is evicted week 4, where it's just like my guy gets in and then he gets evicted the following week when he doesn't have power.
Okay, let's want to rewind through the episode. I know we got ahead of ourselves.
Yeah, we kind of skipped over a bunch of stuff. Like all of we talked about Frenchie's campaigning because we had like quick little segments where he went to Xavier and Brent and Azah and Claire and Sarah Beth, where he's like, Sarah Beth, you can be a legend. You know, this was kind of blah for me. I didn't love it. I was
disingenuous.
Waiting for it to be over. Sort of thing. Or were you guys like, no, maybe Frenchie will stay?
No,
or they have to do, or was there any part of you like they have to do this because if they can't just say he's a French fry, they have to give us some hope that he's maybe going to turn this around, right?
See, yeah, that's what Amanda said to me. Bring that quote, that comment up, Dave, because that's exactly what Amanda said to me, that she thinks he did get it right on purpose because he's a lawyer and he paid attention to the legal fine print of the question.
Well, sorry, what do you want me to bring up?
There's a comment by B Bean, one of our guys.
Okay, and he says here, am I the only one who thinks that the lawyer's skills helped him pay attention to the detail, know the difference between the nude and naked? Like, you're right. Like, it was kind of like the more specific of the word. Maybe Xavier does have an exceptional memory. And
I can't wait till feeds. I
don't think it's a memory thing. I think it was more
semantics.
Semantics, and a lawyer would pick up on that.
Right. Yeah. So I hope so. I think I know how to pick them. And Xavier is going to win this whole game. You know?
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
But my last pick, I had no part to play in getting Frenchie, other than I didn't take him with my first pick. So therefore I was stuck with him. But he still has been the most entertaining part of the show. So I think through karma, I think I'm actually winning this pool.
What?
Speaking of which, let's get back to the episode. What did you guys think of tonight?
Disingenuous.
Yeah.
What did you think of the segment with Kylan and Sarah Beth tonight? Her father apparently died from COVID a year ago. Reactions.
Jaemeel, go ahead. What do you think about
that? Sweet. Thankfully, it wasn't too long. They didn't really lean into the dramatic music. So I'm happy about that. It was a cup of coffee, perfect amount of time, and then we moved on. That being said,
worth acknowledging on the show, but didn't need to be drawn out.
It was a human interest thing, and giving Sarah Beth, who is looking to be a more important character, a little bit of shine. Right? You focus in on the characters that you think are going to be lasting a little bit longer, and Sarah Beth looks like she has been putting in enough work for her to be focused on. Right? Claire, no.
Right.
Claire,
you can kind of see like how the game goes and like who production wants to stick around. And Sarah Beth is definitely one of those players. Whitney, Brent, and there's one other one. And even Hannah. You can tell like production's okay if those people go home. You know,
Claire as well is fine.
Claire was the other one. Yeah.
Well, Hannah, they gave her that segment.
Daryl saying here that the X-Man, my Xavier, is too big of a threat. You are high, Dave, if you think he will win.
There is no way they're going to let this man get close to the final 5. There's no way. Never.
Well, that's
because of that rap? Because of that Britney rap that he's a stand-up guy?
He better bust his knee and pull a Christmas to get further in the game, because there's no way I'm letting that man, that Colossus, right, get near the final 5. No way.
That's
he's
also
gonna get to jury because he seems to be a nice guy and it looks like he's in some people's corner. You get him to jury and then you get him out.
He's with the cookout.
Yeah. Well, he has to leave early, right?
It's gonna be hot this summer. Get ready, America, because the cookout is taking over. The table is basically set.
Yeah. We're gonna send him for ice. X-Men. We ran out of ice.
The
Hit
Iceman.
store.
He's the Iceman. He's Bobby Drake.
Hit the store. Right.
Yes. Okay. Also, Kylan says Slaughterhouse is dead, and there was a whole bunch of people tonight saying Slaughterhouse is no longer a thing because the announcers kept bringing it up. Like every time in the recap in this week too, they've been the Slaughterhouse and the Cookout are things, right? Because it was Frenchie's
I
dream.
always wanted to start an alliance called the Slaughterhouse.
Now that his story is over in this house, I guess the Slaughterhouse story is also over. But the Cookout will continue, and maybe a new alliance of kings and queens, which was the other part of this tonight. Where, well, first, okay, we saw that the queens via Kylan, as the HOH, was trying to broker some kind of peace with the aces for safety next week, but he wasn't feeling it. He was only like 50% because he likes
Only
Sarah
Derek
Beth.
X is only Derek X is on his side on the aces on Kylan's side.
Yeah,
The rest
he
of them
likes
are
Sarah
like,
Beth sort of, and he likes Derek X. He feels like Derek X is the royal part of the royal flush or whatever in his
Right. Yeah, Sarah Beth's on the Kings though, right? The Aces is the team that that interests me the most because they're the team that actually has figured out what's going on in the house. Like they know that it's the Aces and the Jokers are on the bottom, and the Kings and Queens are on the top. It's going to be an ace or an ace or a Joker going home. I think this week again, right?
Well,
yeah, probably an
actually
ace, right?
Not a Joker.
Oh, really? Oh, not a Joker, but probably an ace, right?
Because Xavier is part of sorry, I stand corrected.
Yeah, he's
part
on
of
the
King.
King.
Sorry.
Yeah,
he's on the King.
They're
Sorry,
going
you're
at,
right, you're right.
they're going after an ace probably this week, I think. Because the Jokers don't really have a big threat.
What do I have it here, right? I'm like, who's on what team? I gotta like reference this.
I'm like, wait, what?
What? Okay, yeah. So as we know, the Kings via Xavier are all immune this week. So yeah, you're right, Sarah Beth. Because Kylan said tonight that he's like 50%. I'm only like in line with 50% of the aces. I think specifically Kylan does not like Brent and Whitney, and I think and he's obviously good with Derek X. So maybe I guess that means Hannah. He's not against per se, or he's like as much as those two. But the Queens have made a strategic alliance with the Kings, which makes sense for both sides of this, or not. But that's kind of what
I would say. Like, okay, on the aces, right? They're not going after Derek X, so it's going to be Hannah, Brent, and Whitney. Those are the targets I think this week. So those three people.
Oh,
Hannah, yeah, all aces.
Except Derek X.
I think
Derek X, Kylan is going to vouch for him, and that'll be that.
But what Brittany is also a potential danger because I think once on the block, you are always maybe a consideration. Especially if you're not. And Brett's a Joker.
Here's the thing about here's the thing about the Jokers. None of them are a threat to anybody in the house. I'm sorry, they're not. They're terrible social game players. Derek,
even Azza.
Azza, she goes and sits by herself most of the time. Doesn't? That's what I've been hearing. That she's kind of like I don't think she's a great social player with the other players in the game. She was kind of with her team. Same with Derek F. But that team now just lost their captain, and I think that team is not good. Is not going to be good at sticking together. Okay, so the Aces are the team that really needs to come through, and they're the bigger threat to the Kings and the Queens.
Question here: why was Kylan making these deals after the veto? Why was it? Do you have a sense of that, Jaemeel? Of like, was this just the way it was edited?
He was just making deals. Or having those type of conversations is still good, as you continue on, right? And so
yeah, but for him to like sit down with all the aces and then all the kings without the fellow members of the queens,
we'll talk more about.
You don't want to make that look obvious. And second, the conversation that was fascinating to me was with the aces because like literally nobody wanted to say anything to them. And then Derek X is like, well, I really like you, Kylan. You're a good guy, blah, 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 blah. And I'm saying really nothing, was saying, a whole bunch of nothing at all. And then the rest of them were like, yeah, what he said. And then they left. And, and then the Kings come in. They're like, we love you. We're keeping you safe. It's like, okay, it's pretty clear who you're aligned with already. Like, It's like you already knew this. What was the point of these conversations?
I think for the audience to make it more sense for the audience so that they understand, okay, I guess these teams are now working together, because I know they're just trying to get like the audience to remember who's on whose team. And we've been watching this and talking about this all for 2 weeks or 2.5 weeks now, and we're still trying to remember who's on what team. And I guess this like sort of broad sense of, okay, the Kings and the Queens plus Derek X, which is the Royal Flush Alliance, unofficially. Trademark. I'm trademarking that.
You're waiting for me to respond to this. I said I won't. We'll talk about it afterwards. Or you know what? It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. Okay. So yeah, the Royal Flush does exactly is the Kings and Queens plus Derek X. They did kind of mention it, although you didn't really see a group like team meeting with it. So that's the thing. No. As mentioned before, we have the cookout. We have the jackpot that I mentioned previously in weeks past. We also have the Kingslayers, which I've also mentioned in times past. And there's also another sub-alliance of the Royal Flush that is like a
I got like a core.
Queen. Yeah, core. Yeah.
Okay, so what is the counter alliance, Jaemeel? Is it Whitney, Brent, Hannah, Brittany, Derek F, Azah? Is that the counter alliance? And do they understand that they are the counter alliance?
Let's see. You have was it the Queens and the Aces as a team, but it's kind of like a fake alliance. Right?
Yeah,
and
it's a divergence alliance.
It has a name.
Right. Are the Jokers allied with anybody other than Cookout members of Jokers?
Who's left in the Jokers?
Well, you got Azah, you got Brittany, and you got Derek F.
Which like 2 out of those members are in the Cookout, and like, so why bother?
Brittany's a lone wolf,
right?
Let's face it.
Brittany is part of the King
Brittany's expendable, right? Is Brittany making jury?
Brittany's in the Kingslayers, and also you have Azah and Derek F in the Cookout.
I think Brittany's not making jury.
If with that attitude that she has, yes, you're absolutely right. She's not making jury at all.
All right. Well,
look at the difference between Alyssa and Brittany. Alyssa had every single reason to be angry about why she was put on the block, right? Yeah. Because that seemed more or less personal, and she did nothing. Whereas Brittany was given the exact reason why she was put on the block, right? Everyone told her she had no chance of going home, but yet still she took it personally, and still she had this attitude, this general like mad at the world attitude for whatever reason.
I think she took it pretty well, as I recall.
I absolutely don't think that I deserve to be nominated.
All right. Yeah, I don't think she's gonna she doesn't have enough ties, and like, who's she partnering up with? Who is she close with? I'm not entirely sure. I'm trying to look to see if she has like any final 2 deal, and I don't really see any.
Brittany and Whitney on the bikes getting angina through the. I don't know.
Yeah, if it's Brett and Whitney going up next week, and one of them goes down, I'm pretty sure Brittany's going to go up in their place.
Probably. Okay, Jeff's back. Just on this. Okay, we talked about Brittany's rap speech quite a bit, so I think we can skip that.
Yes,
just
thank you.
On Frenchie's part of it, which was Julie did say like Frenchie, like I don't know. Oh, your microphone, Jeff. What she said, because she says to Brittany,
You hit it out of the ballpark.
And
that's a ground rule double at best.
Okay.
Yeah,
by the
she
way,
also said, and she also said that was a tough act to follow.
That's a tough act to follow, but you have the floor.
Can I say something about this? What Brittany did there, like doing that whole rap thing, and like that's fine. Like if she wants to do that or whatever. But I do think it was kind of it was kind of a dick move toward Frenchie.
Yep.
Like she knew Frenchie was going home, and she took the spotlight, and it was just kind of like, what are you doing? Like I don't know. It just rubbed me the wrong way. Like everything she does kind of rubs me the wrong way. Like I don't know. Do you guys see what I'm saying?
I see exactly.
I understand
what
why
you're saying.
I understand why she annoys you. Yes, I do.
But
I
like,
do understand.
Dave,
it.
you like if you think that you're going home and you want to do one last splash, you do a rap like that.
Yeah, Zach Rance did it with the
Right.
fruit.
She's the next
dingus and-
Eminem. She's more like the Stan, I think.
I don't care if she does it when she knows she's going home or whatever, but to like take that whole, maybe Frenchie wanted her to do that and to kind of take the spotlight off her. Maybe they talked about it, but if they didn't and she just did that, I think it's kind of like what are you doing? Like,
see, you spoiled it, Daryl. Thank you, Daryl.
Well,
Right?
I
I was
also
going to
showed the
ask
comment.
Dave. I was going to ask Dave and say, hey, what do you think Brent Champagne is going to name an alliance?
Something about his mother, maybe,
Or the Mafia?
the Mafia.
Wow. I'm surprised Big Brother let that stand and say, "Oh, it's copyrighted." That's lame.
Brittany would be in that alliance for sure.
As we say in Italian, ciao.
Brittany's Italian too, right? Am I wrong about this? I feel like she is.
Is it bad that I say I feel she is?
I feel like she's either Italian or Greek. She's Mediterranean.
She's like,
she talks with her hand like crazy, she's just she seems like she's like that kind of culture.
Well, she could be a pork chop.
She could be.
She has to bring all the stops.
Had to bring out all the stops.
All the fixins.
All the fixins. Yeah, just how Frenchie went up and did his speech tonight, and he was like, "I'm not here to say anything funny."
I would have laughed.
I was like, I don't know what you're. Yeah, it was kind of just a boring blah speech. He talked about farm animals, and then Julie was just like, "Classy, Frenchie, classy." And I think that's all. He's like, I will stick around for this week, producers. If you just say I'm a classy guy, don't like make me look bad on the way out, and I'll get out of here and
I'll
get out of
kiss
the way.
all the babies. I'll shake all the hands. I'll do all the talk.
Let me walk out with my head high as
please.
much as possible.
Sorry, we don't get that. You're on this show.
No.
You're a circus animal. You hope that you do well enough that you get paid at the end, or you get that some notoriety. But like looking for respect at the end of this, there is none.
Okay, she is Italian and she's most likely Sicilian.
Uh-oh. You know what
I
that
wonder.
means.
So you talk about the Mafia? She should be the.
Yeah, is she part of the Buffalo?
He's been cut off just on
is
that.
she part of the Buffalo Niagara Falls Pizza Mafia? That's
She
there.
could be. There is.
Does she go to
that is the
Lenovo?
thing.
I would love to know what type of pizzeria she goes to. Is she?
You ever had that
that
like Niagara Falls pizza? It's got like little hot dogs on it and stuff.
I'm not look when we're talking about Niagara Falls, Buffalo, Western New York pizza. We're talking about like Lenovo. Lenovo is right.
There's that place with like the sheet pan pizza with like little hot dogs on it. I can't remember what it's called.
Now, when it's chicken wings, shout out, because this is what I want to talk about in a second. Shout out to Buzzy's Pizzeria on Military Trail. Great wings. I'm willing to drive from Toronto to get there.
Not a sponsor yet, but we are open. Hit us up.
Right.
So we go into the vote?
Yeah. Yeah, okay. The vote. Derek F, the only one to vote for Brittany. The rest to vote for Frenchie.
Yeah.
So it's 11-1. Let's have our little eulogy here for
I thought we were
Frenchie.
gonna. This is where I was gonna talk about this stuff, and I was gonna talk about how I appreciate the 1, 2, 3 people who did not do a shout out. I appreciate you, Claire. I appreciate you, Xavier, and I appreciate you, Christian, for not doing
I just ignore those
Right?
those shout outs. They are tedious and they are.
I will also state that Sarah Beth, Azah, and also Tiffany brought it in terms of their dress game. Way to go. right? Christian looks stupid with his hair, and I don't know why DX and Brent decided to wear the same exact sweater.
I didn't pick up on that.
I have like a whole paragraph dedicated to that.
All right.
So yeah,
I have one thing to say about the voting. Okay, take away this thing here, David. Just show the background if you could.
Sure.
See the ottoman that's sitting right here.
Yep.
That's in the middle. Okay, tonight it was right against the couch, and when everyone had to vote, they had to walk around the ottoman. I never they usually don't have an ottoman like that in the house, so I thought it was very strange. Like they had to walk around it. I don't know. It bothered me.
Sometimes it's there for like the HOH to sit on. Depends how many people are still in the house. They probably will get rid of it at some point.
Well, if there's a commercial break and the HOH has to like, has to stand, they can sit there in between and then they can stand back up. It's not going to sit back down on the couch.
Right. Yeah. So this vote 11-1. Frenchie goes out here. Derek F. Does everyone know this was Derek F? Jaemeel? Do you imagine? Yeah.
Yes.
So this is no surprise to anybody.
No, not a surprise.
Okay. Will Brent be obsessed with this?
Not this one.
Not this one. Okay, good. All right. So let's get to the last third of the show, which featured what's his name?
Tom Green.
Tom Green took to the streets of Canada to talk all things Big Brother.
By the way, I love the way Julie Chen said Canada.
Canada.
Big Brother alum Tom Green.
Yes.
It's a very foreign country to Julie Chen.
It was very exotic, all the way up there in the Ottawas, the fabled Ottawas. And
someone should have threw shade about like the lack of live feeds, like regular live feeds.
Yeah, like were you surprised that Tom Green was brought back in for this? Like, no. Was this like, oh, this is just what they do?
Tom Green, he's a company man.
Yeah, Tom Green is he's good at this stuff. That's what he does.
Yeah. Are you glad he's back? Are you glad he's back in the Big Brother
Did
world?
he leave?
Well, he wasn't. He's
Dave. I'm happy he earned a
recently.
paycheck. Good for him.
Yeah.
Good for Tommy. Okay, Canada's own Tom Green. We already talked about Frenchie's exit interview and all that kind of stuff. Those goodbye messages were blah, the fakeness and the whatever. So I think we can largely skip it, like unless there's anything else you guys want to touch on.
He should have been dragged. I don't care. He should have been dragged.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing else I'll say is like without an audience there, it's a different vibe. I know that they can't bring in the audience yet, but
they could, but they haven't.
Okay, Dave. When Big Brother first started, there was no audience. Okay, right. I prefer it. First,
you like this better?
Yes.
Like with
wait, you don't want me booing there in 2 weeks?
Oh, like I would like to go or whatever. As a viewer at home, I don't need the dumb audience clapping for everything.
My favorite thing is when they get booed when they walk out.
Well, that is fun. See, I like aspects of the audience. That's true. But when they first started the Big Brother, it was like it was no audience. You know, when Dr. Will came out and won, there was no. Maybe there was an audience when he won, but every person that came out of the house, it was like private interview. Like we
the
saw
shrubbery
tonight.
right in the front yard.
Tom Green is a national treasure. Just
okay.
What
you should start the Canadian version of National Treasure.
Yeah,
I would watch that.
I would watch it too.
Where he has to break into the Canadian museums or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm gonna break in and steal the Canadian Declaration of Independence. There is none.
The Charter of Rights and Freedoms signed in 1982.
Rare artifact.
That'll be great.
Yeah, that would. Hey, you're welcome, Tom Green. That's a great premise.
That's a perfect, great idea for a movie that only 30 million people would want to watch.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can understand, Dave. You don't want the audience, and then they're fake clapping because there's an audience clap sign that they see as they go to commercial. It isn't like a genuine type of reaction. It's only when the people come out, right, that you get that genuine reaction.
Well, I also just like seeing it on the house guest face when they have to meet that crowd because they've been only in there with each other. You get that cabin fever, and then it's like you're back in the world again.
Yeah,
it's like a splash in the face.
But let me make this point: they have been curating those audiences ever since BB15. because they want less booing. They want this is a money making machine. They want it to be popular. They want people booing. They don't want that.
Why Christine get booed in BB16?
Well, I'm because
Well,
they didn't curate good enough that they were just getting by the time
turned it
they
up for
didn't know that
they
there
turned
was
it up
that
for
many
17.
people that were aware of what happened.
Yeah.
Like
I loved
Aaron,
when Aaron Grease got booed. I thought that was great. She got exactly what she had coming to her.
I agree exactly. I think they should not curate the crowd. They should let them cheer or boo respectfully, though. There shouldn't be like people swearing or anything like that. You're not holding up signs. But like, if you appreciate the person's gameplay, you cheer them. If you didn't, you don't. Right? And it's
Especially
not
if they were a villain,
like,
right?
look,
Like
Gen City isn't going to get like thunderous applause, but people
Right.
are going to still cheer for her. Right?
yes.
Right? So unless you were god awful, you did something stupid, you're not going to get booed. So what's the problem? Right?
Well,
What is really the problem?
Yeah, because they don't want like someone like an Aaron Grease, like you just said, she got what she deserved, right? But at the same time, it was merciless what the audience did to her. And
But Julie also dragged the woman too.
oh yeah, no, I'm not saying they didn't. They totally did. But I think they kind of self-reflected and they're like, do we really want to be this show?
And see,
like
the answer should
that's
be
why I need
yes.
to be in the
I
boardroom.
agree.
I'll be in the boardroom. I'm like, yes, we want to be that show. Let's lead into it.
That's the show I want to
if
watch.
they just I thought in Aaron's case, like I don't think it was more than she deserved, or it was vicious. It was direct.
Oh, no, I think she should have got dragged more. I think they were light on her.
And
Like,
then
look,
you could have that perspective too, right? It's
this is my problem with Big Brother and where it's missing in the 21st century, right? They have outsourced their community building, in general to podcasters and other people. Thank you, that we can do this one. But like, why is there no after show? Right?
Yeah.
Where's the CBS?
we're the after show.
Right? We're the after show.
Well,
but I mean,
didn't
officially, CBS. Like
they used
they're
to
not
do
a
one with Big Jeff, did they not? And that they don't do it anymore.
They don't do it anymore. They've
Yeah.
outsourced it. Right?
Frenchie was afraid he was going to get the Aaron Grease type interview from Julie.
Nah, man, you didn't.
For what? For like, but I guess you could have that fear. Like, he had that thing with Kylan, right? Like he was kind of berating Kylan, and he doesn't know what was on the show. And
Dave, he walked into the house talking about people of color and women, and he walked out of the house talking about the old guy. So again, disingenuous, and Julie played with kid gloves with him, like she would not have done 6 years ago. So like these are the things. The Big Brother is really obviously changing, and I think in a lot of ways for the worse. Like because they're hiding like their personalities and they're sugarcoating things and they're making it seem like that, like something that like wasn't reality. Like
True.
So like they're taking the reality out of the reality TV.
Yeah, exactly.
Although that being said, if Julie tried dragging me, I'll be like, "What about your husband, Julie?"
Well, I'm asking the questions, Jaemeel.
But first, I'm going to poke your ass. But first, that's what she's going to say back to me.
Yeah. But first.
All
right. I'm
going to punch your face. But first.
But first.
Yeah. We talked about the HOH comp pretty much. Just
did you like this HOH comp?
I like that it was quick.
I like it was quick. I like that we got the result tonight. Yeah. I thought it was neat how I only have a picture here on my phone, but I was taking
how they color coded it so you know which team was which.
And they were able to like take that, even though they're all standing like long version like next to each other, they cropped them all into like one screen very nicely together. Good production value. See, Big Brother and CBS, I props you when you deserve it, and when you can't. When you do something right, that was a good one. I liked that. Jaemeel, do you want a Bachelor type show with women tell all?
Yes. You're telling me you wouldn't like for BB23 if they had one and they just let people loose, right? BB21 if they let people loose and let like what's the name? The owl dude. What's the name? The Asian dude from BB21 who was useless and wasn't really good.
Fessy?
No, Asian dude.
Well, he'd be Asian, but not
South Asian.
South Asian. Yeah. Well, no, Middle Eastern. But,
he was disrespected because of his race, or they felt that he was mistreated by Mickey and company.
Oh,
Yes.
sorry. Yeah, I'm vaguely remembering this. Yes.
Yes. Well, I just mean like if they just had like Mickey wouldn't want that, but tough beans to you, Mickey, right? You're getting dragged.
yeah.
You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, I forget his name.
Now I need to look it up.
Ovi.
Ovi. I kept on thinking
Ovi.
Yeah. Like a lot of
Yeah.
people had a lot to say in that season, and it got cut really short. And then they had their sanitary Mickey wins, everyone, and everyone was like, "Yay!" Now just imagine.
Yeah, well, that was the problem. But Mickey was another one who should have been dragged, and the producers and the editors protected him because
And it ruined the game, and they don't get it. The show does not understand what they're doing.
But why don't they want the heat? I don't understand. Isn't it like because like, for a while
Dave, I'll answer that question real quick. Because we live in the day of cancel culture, and if you say the wrong thing, you are done. And like they will come after you, and they will just remove you. And
the house guests, though,
yes
not
and
the
no.
not
Yes
the
and
show.
no, Jeff, I disagree with that.
Okay, what do you mean?
We say that there's cancel culture. How many people have actually been canceled?
Oh, well, yes.
Has Louis C.K. been canceled? No, he's still
right.
boring. Right?
No, I understand what you're saying. Like, deplatformed, I guess, is the better way to go. People have definitely been deplatformed, but that's a whole other thing. What I'm trying to say is the show is a reflection of society. That people walk on eggshells now on social media,
People
in
are
public.
afraid of getting canceled. Definitely.
Right.
Yes.
That's what I mean. We live in an age where we are afraid of cancel culture.
Afraid to say a lot of things that could be construed as controversial.
I think that is a direct reaction or a reaction to the fact that people were getting a little bit bold with being able to say whatever they want to in social media.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So it's rebounding the other direction, and hopefully we kind of shift back where there's an understanding of middle ground.
The answer is money. Okay, well, fair enough. But like, I guess that's where I'm coming from. Like, what's more profitable for Big Brother, the show? Like when they were for a couple seasons there, Jaemeel, we were constantly having things where like, okay, TMZ is covering that, like some house guest said this racist thing or this insensitive thing or was like sexually harassing so and so, and like that kind of heat. I thought, like, although those are terrible things, that it's actually some publicity can be good publicity, and like it's kind of like showing this is a human experiment, and having these people in this house gives us a chance to kind of learn more about ourselves. Maybe I'm being a little too deep of a Big Brother, but
okay, I understand that people will say Big Brother showing these negative aspects of people, it might affect their bottom line, but realistically, in terms of BB 15 and also 21, right? The main reaction that people that was had was that CBS was not showing what was actually happening in the house, and people who the hardcores who were seeing what was happening on the feeds did not feel it was appropriate that CBS was presenting these people in a positive light. And then hey Sam, and then they were threatening to boycott whether it be live feeds and sponsorships, whoever sponsors the show as well. So that was hitting their bottom line. So rather than actually dragging people as appropriately or showing it on the television, they just sanitized everything a lot. They're quick on the to shut down live feeds and go to
show us the fish tank or whatever.
Okay, here's a good example
to kind of
like
warn people about it. They warned Mickey, and Mickey just didn't listen.
Here's a good example. Okay, guys, like remember Russell Hantz, obviously. Russell Hantz did some things in both of his seasons, the first two, 19 and 20, in Survivor. I know it's a different show, but if he did some of the things that he did on that show today, the social media would lose their minds. Like he burned Jason's socks and like little things he did.
The Dumb Girl Alliance.
The Dumb Girl Alliance.
The
fight
that was
with
the
Rupert.
First episode.
That was the first episode. The fight he had with Rupert. there was a bunch of different things that Russell did that if that was on TV today, advertisers, you're right, Jaemeel, would probably go, ooh, I don't know about this, So like that's the world we live in compared to when reality TV first started. It was like hardcore. I mean, it was a lot more off the cuff. It was a lot more real. Now it's contrived, it's manufactured, and people are going to tune out of it, I think, eventually. So
to this comment from BB saying that half the USA is the MAGA, the Make America Great, the Republican side, they are at least half the audience, maybe more. So you have to be careful, but careful about what? I know
in terms of dragging people.
Right.
In terms of dragging people. Now,
because that's what there's the MAGA side or the Republican side doesn't like people being dragged unjustly. That's their thing.
Unjustly, yes. But at this, so CBS reaction to that is let's just have a more kid friendly, television friendly situation. So we hire without that many problematic people. There might be people who are extremely, out there in terms of Frenchie, in terms of how they're approaching the game, but not necessarily in their politics. Like there could be people who are Republicans in the Big Brother house right now, but they don't necessarily care to share that information. Like they were talking about Whitney not believing Sandy Hook exists. Right. That's not going to make the show. That's going to be a clip on feeds that is put on Reddit, and about 500 people are going to see it, and it's going to not make a dent in Twitter unless she does something stupid. But Whitney's smart enough and packaged enough that she's not going to do anything to upset potential, clients after the show.
Right. Yeah. It's interesting to think about that, though, like that's a certain political alignment would mean you wouldn't want to see like an Aaron Grease kind of a situation.
Well, I mean, I don't think it has anything to do with politics. Like they never even bring up politics most of the time in the house. The only time I can really remember politics being brought up in Big Brother was Omarosa, and that was Celebrity Big Brother.
Yeah. Or like really early on in Big Brother when everything was really new.
Don't forget about the Mooch, the Scaramucci. He was a fake house guest.
I think they're told, and maybe I'm wrong, but I think they're told kind of not to do that, not to bring up politics, not to bring up Trump, especially the last 4 years. I can only imagine the amount of vetting they did with, like don't talk about Trump, don't talk about Clintons, don't talk about any of that stuff because, we can't have that, on our show.
It doesn't help the show anyway.
The only reference to Trump, I think, was they did let them know that Trump won the election.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
Yeah, they did let them know that. And there was kind of like a little bit of reaction from some of the house guests, but it wasn't something that was like, this is an ongoing thing. I think poorly of this person because of their political affiliation. Like, look, Big Brother is not Big Brother Canada. Big Brother Canada, they can go like all day with it. And even then, like conservatives versus liberals, they're not like frothing at the mouth about politics as much as U.S. does, where they make really hard stands, right?
No,
Alberta, like you can just guess that an Alberta alliance is going to be very heavily on the right-hand side versus an Ontario, especially if it's Toronto-based, might be more left-leaning, right?
Sure.
But it'll barely come up.
Yeah, it's not really the point. Like, it's not a political show, although politics is part of life, and these are real people, so it would come up from time to time, like any other subject. But it's not maybe the primary focus, and because it's so polarizing, it's probably.
I think they tell the house guests, don't think about politics, think about people, right?
And Sam's saying here, if someone on Big Brother says something offensive, the protocol should be first time they say something wrong, you get a warning in the diary room, and it is not allowed. And if you do it again, you're not allowed to play in the HOH. Second time, you are gone. So Sam's suggesting more of a 3 strikes and you're out, or
I disagree with this.
They just cut these and just warn the person, and that kind of ends the conversation. They don't even get to that extent.
Because like Survivor players have the edit, whereas Big Brother players are being watched all the time, and so they have to be held to like more of a sanctimonious standard, right? Because it's you're more likely to admit something that maybe you don't want millions of people to know on a Big Brother feed.
Like not believing in Sandy Hook.
Right. Well, that's
right. Or like you in Survivor, they edit that out. You never even knew it happened.
we would never even know, right? So
Look at the thing with Survivor with the creepy Dan guy. Like they had to have a whole. You never have known. You know, probably something like that has happened in reality TV, and we never found out about it. You know, back in the day. But now, yes, I do think there is a flip side to the coin. That yes, we do find out like some of the things that we should have found out before that we didn't. But at the same time, when people are like trying to, curtail people's speech and all these different things, it's kind of like, yeah, give them a warning or whatever. But like, I don't know. Censorship
I think
is a kind of a problem these days, and I think we need to be careful with that.
The net result here is that we get a less exciting product, right?
Yes.
That we're getting like, I'm so afraid of my image or my how I'm perceived. Frenchie here, case in point tonight, that you get no interesting gameplay. Like, are those days gone, or will we not get that?
Well, there's one other point I wanted to make was that, okay, I think now when they go through casting and look at a girl like Hannah, she's 21, right? I think they go through like, oh, this girl's been watching the show for 10 years. So that means she was 11 when she first started watching this show. And that was BB13. Right? Oh, that means she watched BB15 when she was 13. Oh man, like that's weird. That's rough. To think about, because that means she saw the whole Aaron Grease drama and she saw all that as a 13-year-old. And then I think Big Brother kind of reflects on itself and goes, "Oh, we need to make this show more kid friendly." Right? Why are you letting your kid watch that show?
That was a great learning opportunity. The Aaron Grease situation.
Dude. No.
It was a great thing to show how it was a case in point of real life racism, casual racism that exists in mainstream culture.
It wasn't that casual, in my opinion.
No, it was pretty direct.
Yeah. I'm just saying, I wish that it's sad that we have to always reflect back to that season when there's so many other seasons of like interesting characters like who come in a variety of orientations and colors, and like the fact that Nokomis is not talked about with the amount of reverence as even someone as like we say more, talk about Gina Marie more than Nokomis.
Yep. What was the girl that was on the Jeff and Jordan season that threw her mic into the thing and they kicked her out? Chara. Yeah, I start with the C. Yeah, but oh my god, like we don't get those moments anymore in Big Brother because they don't cast crazy people anymore. Like we
need more crazies. We need more crazies. I'm okay. I'm okay with like kind of like these not so perfect people being in the house. I'd rather it almost be like a random assortment of people.
Like all right, tonight was a perfect example. Sorry, Jaemeel, just real quick. The whole thing with Kyland and Sarah Beth, where like it's a nice moment, it's sweet. I'm not here to watch a sweet moment on reality TV. Like this is not why I watch Big Brother, like I don't mind it. It's a cup of coffee or whatever, but like the point of it is where's the intrigue? Where's the drama? Like this is why I watch
Where's the caffeine? This is decaf.
So look, Jeff, I agree exactly with what you're saying, but at the same time, you refuse to watch Big Brother Canada, where there was intrigue, there was drama. They had all of the heartfelt moments. Hey, LGBTQ plus all that
First Nations,
right? First Nations, all that a black thing. But at the same time, you calling me a coward? Don't call me a coward. Like big personalities who were just like, going out of their mind, but there was still gameplay. Big Brother Canada 9, the gameplay was not that good, but at the least there was intrigue. You're like, I don't know what the hell is going to happen this week because these people are insane, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Even the sane people, they're doing stuff. You're like, what? That makes no sense. It was still intriguing.
I've never had a problem with Big Brother Canada, like the way they play the game or even the competitions. My big problem with Big Brother Canada is mostly the host. I know I have and the music. There's two things. If I have to hear that music, like they play it over and over. There it is. So those are my
Cox.
I like the game of Big Brother. I would watch it, like, but every time I try to watch it with Amanda, I'm like, I can't take this music. I can't take this host.
I like Carissa.
I like Arista.
I
She's
like
not
her.
like Julie Chen, but she does a fine job.
What can Arissa rap California Love? Like, you know what? Also, I disagree with what Britney rapping, right? We've seen high quality rapping in terms of Julie Chen doing California Love. She would blow Britney out of the water in terms of flow.
Oh yeah, that's so good. That's such a great point, Jimmy. That Julie Chen is a better rapper than Britney. Enough said.
Yeah, BB5 might be too far in the past for it to.
But let's get remastered, man. Remastered.
Hannah was 2 years old when that Nokomis thing happened. Like, it's a long time ago.
Well, Hannah's the youngest. Okay, most of them. Well, I guess there's a wide range here. Yeah, I just think that I think it's a kind of a reflection of where we are as a society and a culture right now. I think we've been going through this decade or multi-decade transformation through, and it's going to continue to go on. But what it's doing to Big Brother specifically, and how that's being presented on the show, and what the producers and these house guests are conscious of is definitely, you see it. Yes, Jeff, you're right. It's there, and will it go away? What will it evolve into?
There's only one player, guys, in this house that could have played BB1. Tiffany. One.
Just age-wise?
Just age. One player.
Do I look old to you?
She would have been 18, by the way, guys.
Yeah.
Right.
Frenchie would have been what, 16, 15?
Yeah, Frenchie. He's the old guy. They vote out the old guy. If my wife hadn't told me to come play this, I wouldn't be here, and I'd be on the goddamn block and voted out of the house. 11-1.
Okay.
Okay, maybe we should segue. Let's talk. We talked about the comp, and okay, Xavier's HOH. What do you think this means, Jaemeel?
Whitney and Brent are going up.
Whitney and Brent are his automatic. You have no question in that. There's no one else he would eye.
To me, it makes the most amount of sense. You have enough of the people in the house that are okay with that. Wild card in terms of going up, maybe Christian.
I think it's a mistake. I think they should be targeting Hannah, and Hannah's my girl, but I think they should be targeting her.
Yeah, the easier thing, I think you're right, is to target Brent and Whitney, because I just think that because they were so cozy up with Frenchie early on, I think they're looked at as sort of like expendable now to the house, because they were poisoned. Their images have been poisoned by that, especially that they don't have power now, and they're and after the Jokers have maybe they'll give them a little bit of an easier time this week, because they just lost a member. The Queens have lost a member, and now maybe the Aces will lose a member. That could definitely be a thing. And then I think the other three teams might want to look at the Kings and say, well, they are still intact. All four of them are still there after this week. What does that mean for the house? What does that mean for the long-term strategy?
That's a good question.
Yeah,
Very good question.
I don't know the answer either. Yeah.
We're going to find out in the weeks to come, but we don't know now. Okay, so that's everything else. I just want to say, hey, Xavier, I know how to pick him. Pretty great. I lost Frenchie tonight. We're still talking about Frenchie, so I sort of won.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Well, do you know why we're still talking about Frenchie? Because he was the only guy that was like such a train wreck in the house that he was good TV. Everybody else is a piece of white toast. So it's right now anyway, I hope it gets better. I really do. I hope it blows up. Because now that Frenchie's gone, the chaotic element is out of the house. And if they all get along, I hope that doesn't happen, but I could see it happening. I could see it like this just giant alliance happening, and everybody goes like, you're on the block. Like, at least Brittany, like, as much as it was irrational that she got so upset and everything, it was kind of good TV.
She cared.
Yeah, she cared. And
sorry. Wow.
Yeah, exactly. So these are the type of things you get put on the block and it's just like, oh, well, this is the type of things that nobody wants to watch that.
Yeah.
Come on.
All right. So,
yeah. Okay. So I don't know if we have anything spoiler-wise, Jaemeel,
Nope.
to speak of
Nope.
because there's no feeds yet, right? Because they won't come up till much later tonight.
West Coast, and we already talked about the different alliances. So yeah,
I think we covered it all. It was a good chat and discussion. I think that I'm interested to see what week 3 will bring us now. And then Daryl is always here. Just X-Man, Xavier. He's going the distance. You watch. You see. He's loved by everybody. The next question here: do you think there will be a jury battle back this season?
not until later.
I'm gonna go no because of COVID.
Yeah, I think it's I think they could sequester and quarantine a buyback group, but
If they do it, it'll be like a turnaround, like a reset week. I could see that more than a jury buyback.
like
I
a
could see
revolving door.
Yeah.
Or Jeff, if you didn't see what they did with BB Can, I think they might lift that exact type of sequence.
The
where the
fake
person
double
walks-
eviction that wasn't fake.
where they have the person walk out the door and they're like, nope, don't go this way, go this way, and the people turn around and they end up back into the house, but like they have like a competition. And
They did it in Big Brother Canada 9. It was just randomly they said it was a
That's a good
double
idea.
eviction, right? But they said actually the two that got evicted that night they had a chance to battle each other, and the one came back.
That's perfect. That's what they should do. Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yep.
Big Brother Canada, I give them props. They are way better at innovation and in the competitions and stuff. Like way better than VBUS is.
Yeah, it's true,
Okay.
but not so good with the music.
No, the music.
Okay. So wait. Really?
Bids are up
that
now in the
early?
U.S. Come on, Jaemeel. Can't keep up with Daryl.
It's 10:50. Come on, man. Daryl, if you want to be a correspondent, that's cool. But I'm on this pod right now. I'm not watching feeds.
Yeah, you can't keep up with it all. You know,
Okay.
we're more
gotta-
live reactors.
He's no robot Terran. He can't do both.
No,
Correct.
no.
I have feelings.
Okay, so that's going to be wrapping up for week 2. We'll be back on Sunday to talk about the Sunday nominations with Xavier and everything else with that. Plus, here on Super Mader Brothers Podcasting, we do all other kinds of content, including Marvel Cinematic Universe, including we did Loki Season 1. We also did Black Widow and all those shows from Disney+. Check that out over on other playlists, as well as Survivor and other reality shows we've covered over time. And we have other channels, including a Star Trek themed channel called Live Long and Podcast, where we talk on Monday nights. We talk about Star Trek, the original series. Tuesday nights, Star Trek Deep Space Nine. We also talked about the movies. We talk about all the shows that come out. And we also have a thing called Star Trek Radio Theater, where we do script reads. So check that out. We're coming back next Saturday night for, I think it's July 31st. We're going to be doing our next show, Cause and Effect, the time loop. And then lastly, Trivial Debates is our monthly channel where we argue about movies, TV, sports, and more in sort of a game show format. Jeff Mader are going to be competing against Adam Woodward and Jody Simpson with Mike O'Connor this Sunday morning at 10 a.m. Check that out. We're going to have some really interesting debates, and whoever wins the most will win that game. All right. I think that's it. Did I forget anything?
Glorious.
I was also going to plug our cousin, Jeff and I's cousin, Davin Skellhorn, Locutors of Trek. He sent me some stickers.
Oh, nice.
To help promote his podcast.
Is that a microphone in the middle of the station?
It's a microphone like on top of Deep Space Nine's command center, sort of, and they're called Locutors of Trek, as well as my son's podcast, which is called Talking About Fighting Games. I think they're up to like 7 or 8 episodes now. Check that over on Spotify or where else you get your all your content. Okay, I think that's it. And I have the clip this time, guys. Let's play it to close out for tonight. Sorry.
What did she say tonight? I missed it.
From outside the Big Brother house, I'm Julie Chen Moonves. And remember, be the good.